And we're back, and I'm back on the BCPA page because what I'm going to be doing is looking at another deal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Zillow foreclosures. I just love foreclosures. And I'm going to look for a foreclosure in 33311, which is kind of a hoodie area, up and coming in Fort Lauderdale, actually up in Bend. Who knows where it is right now? Yeah, send it. So right off the bat, I'm just going to look at this one house right here. This house is 187,376. Now, that looks like something that, but it's 288 days old. I want to get something more relevant. I hate when they have these things here that just sit here and just never get updated. So let me give you my criteria too. So my criteria is I want to look at houses that are at least 3 bedrooms. I want to look at a house that's at least 2 bathrooms. That I gotta have that. Those are what sells quickly. Home type, I don't want manufactured. I don't want a condo. I don't want a multifamily right now. This isn't a rental. This is a flip. And I don't want townhouses. And this is what's going to tell me. And so far, I've got 41 results. If there's anything else I want to do here, let's say square feet. I'm going to say it has to be at least 1,500 plus. And that's pretty much out. I'll just leave that for there. So now I've got 21 results that Zillow has told me fit my criteria. Some of them are more expensive than others, but you can still look and begin doing the data. So let's look at this property. This property here, and this is a little bit different because this says pre-foreclosure, so the bank hasn't taken it back yet. At this point, the bank probably still owns this house, but we're going to find out. So we're going to go here, 2690. We're going to go 2690. Okay, 2960 Northwest 34th Terrace. So that is the property we're looking at. This property, 296,443. And we're looking at it here, and there's some things that jump off at me right away. The assessed value being so high, 274. There's some room here to potentially negotiate. Actually, the value here is at 283. It jumps up a little bit, and they bought it for 280. So there's something that you're going to have to dig in here. 1,945 square feet. And my head show is hiding this, but there is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath here. Again, I would go to the subdivision sales, just trying to do some elimination here. And I can see really quickly based upon the date sorting. You want to always sort by date. You want the most recent sales. And this property is going to be nowhere close to what they're asking for. Nowhere close. Not, I would have to get this property somewhere in the vein of if it's worth 270, I need to pick it up for 200. And you think that's crazy, but no, there's more to it. So I'm going to show you something, and I know this is a lot to learn your first time in, but see here, it's got book and page. So when you click on book and page, that's actually going to take you to now the Broward County records. And so when you get in here, I can see the records. I can see where these people bought the house. And when I want to check the names, I'm seeing Blake and Starks. And at the BCPA, it was Starks. So it's correct. Now here's where it gets pretty interesting. So now I can take Mr. Starks' name, and I can do a new search. You guys are following along here, right? Good. And I'm going to search by name. I accept the conditions above, and I'm going to put his name in, and I'm going to search. And let me blow this up for you. And so what I'm looking for, if this is a pre-foreclosure, I want to see based on the recorded date. So I'm going to sort by top to bottom, 2020, and looking to see if I see a foreclosure notice in here. Yes, they do file them so you can see them yourself. So over here on the right hand side, let me move my head. This tells you the type of document that was filed. And so I'm seeing here, let's see this thing here called final judgment. This final judgment was filed on August 14th of 2018, and now I get to see what that is. And this is a an eviction. So it was not a foreclosure. This one's not an eviction. Not a foreclosure. Here's his mortgage. His mortgage is for $272. He paid $280 for it. So I can see everything that's going on with this property. And boom, there it is. There it is. That's the money shot right there, people. Notice of list pendants. So what we're able to do in literally 5 minutes is I found this property just on Zillow, and now I know it's in foreclosure. I have confirmed it, and I know who the bank is, and I can see everything going with this property. And what day was this filed? This was filed on February 26th. So I don't know I'm going to assume you don't know what that means to me. This was filed on February 26th, and what this is called is a list pendants. It's notifying the world that, hey, listen, we're about to foreclose on this guy. So you know what happened? This was on February 26th, and if you notice, there was no filing activity after that. Think what happened. You with me? Think what happened. So right after that, first week or so in March, Governor DeSantis filed the foreclosure and eviction moratorium, and it stopped dead in its tracks. And so we know that this guy was already probably, 3, 4, 5 months behind his mortgage. And we also know that he's probably not paid anything since February 26th. So in the last 6 months, he still hasn't paid. This guy is inevitably done. This is what I've been telling you about in terms of being able to do the research and find these foreclosures. This guy's over his head. It's never coming back. Not unless he hits the lottery. This house is gonzo. This is what used to make me hundreds of $1,000s per month, is finding this data, which you just saw here, finding this information and knowing that this guy has a train coming at him at 100 miles an hour, and there's nothing he can do if you, me, don't step in and do something. Now, imagine on the other side of the coin, you're the bank, you're the mortgage company that this guy hasn't paid, and you're sitting on this paper, a non-performing asset, and it's running, and the meter's running. Nothing stopped. DeSantis stopped the process. He did not stop the meter. There's no way he can do that. Even if Trump or whoever does some sort of another moratorium, the meters are still running. Pro tip for you. It's Friday. I'm not going to go really long today, but I'm just going to tell you something. I would go through, let me rephrase that. I am going to be going through, let me rephrase that again. I am going through Zillow and other databases that you have access to on the MLS, and I'm pulling out anybody who was in foreclosure between, say, December 2019 and February 2020. These people are going to be the first people, the very first people at the front of the execution line when the moratoriums lift. That's not even talking about the tsunami behind it. This guy's already been filed upon. So I hope you understand the difference there. This guy has already had a lawsuit filed. List pendants means legal procedure pending. There's already a lawsuit in place to sue this guy. If you notice on here, here's the case number is right here. You can actually go down to the courthouse and actually pull this file, and you can see everything about that file. It's all public record. It's amazing. So you could go down to the courthouse, and there's some other places online where you can pull it. You can find out when his last payment was, what he's done, how much it's running, what the interest, everything. So when you call this guy or mail him and say, hey, Mr. Starks, I understand you're in foreclosure. I know you may be trying to work out a forbearance agreement. I might be able to help you out and get you some cash to move on with your life. That, what you just heard, is my pitch. I know this guy's not going to save his home. Not going to happen. He as of right now, he is 6 to 9 months behind on his mortgage. So unless he's hitting the lottery, he's not going to save it. More than likely, right before this is when he lost his job. He may not be working anymore. There's no way he's going to catch up. You guys see what's going on? Do you see where the opportunity is here? I'm not sure if you're understanding what is happening. This is the stuff that's going below the radar of most people. They don't even see what's about to happen. People are seeing people come from New York and they're cash. They're coming down. They're buying these properties, and we're seeing this. It's almost like this, like some sort of confluence happening. You've got people coming in who are terrified and escaping from New York, and you've got people in South Florida who are squatting that have no idea what they're going to do in X period of time when this moratorium gets lifted. You have banks that say, this guy hasn't paid me in 9 months, what the hell am I supposed to do? And you're coming in going, hey, I can solve this problem. I'm going to give you $200,000 to settle this note, and you're going to be done with it. And I'm going to give you, Mr. Starks, 10 grand to go move away, and I'm going to get this house for $210,000. And right now you're thinking, oh, Barry's crazy. He's absolutely nuts. That's never going to happen. Like I told you yesterday, or I don't know if you saw the last video, I've been in negotiations where people, when I walked in, were trying to sell the house, and by the time I left, they handed me the keys and the deed. I owned it. Then I call the bank and say, you got to talk to me. Let's work something out. Well, you don't own it. Yeah, I own the house. I don't have responsibility for the mortgage. See, that's two separate things. You got a mortgage here, which somebody has said, I will pay you $280,000. And you have a deed here, which says I own the house. The two don't mix. You can have a completely different owner who's not responsible for the loan. Now, the bank is going to step in, and as they're doing here, they're going to try and do their best to foreclose. But what do you think a bank wants? Do you think a bank wants to go through 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months of a legal proceeding? Or would they like to cash out, move on to a different loan? You see, what's going to happen, and you can count on this, is that the banks are going to get bailed out on the back end. These banks can't take this hit. Forget the Marxism bullshit about, hey, the banks are evil. Banks run this stuff, especially on the real estate side. So they gave this guy $280,000. He can't pay. So they need to move on, and the only way they make money is by putting more money out on the street. So people from New York are coming down, some who aren't buying cash, who are worthwhile people to take out a mortgage, they're giving them a mortgage. They're getting money back out on the street. I need to get that money back from Curtis here. Curtis here isn't paying us. He's got a tenant in there, and the tenant ain't paying him. We need the money. Hello, Mr. Town Mortgage Company. Yeah, I've taken possession of the property. My name is Barry Cunningham. I'm a real estate developer and investor here in South Florida. See, what I'd like to do is see if we can't discuss a limited payoff, a short sale, a reduction, and I can get this done for you in the next 7 to 10 days, and we're done. Mr. Starks has already made an agreement with me. Let's go ahead and get this thing solved. That's how it works. That's how millions are made. And then, if all else fails, hey, Mr. Banker, just sell me the paper. What are you into? What would you want for this paper? Meaning the mortgage, the assignment. Assign it to me. I'll go ahead and continue with the foreclosure. You don't have to spend another dime in legal fees. Meanwhile, I've already made a deal with Mr. Stark, so everything's fine. Know your shit. Make sure you understand everything about the back end of doing these deals. This deal that I just showed you, that I just found on Zillow, in what we've been talking 20 minutes here, is the kind of money that people dream of. Now, you have to get over the whole, you're feeding, bottom feeding, you're hurting people. No, I'm not. Mr. Starks is irreparably damaged. He is never going to be able to pay his mortgage. He can't continue to live for free. His wife's probably ready to divorce him. His kids are screaming, what the hell are we going to do? I'm going to solve his problem. I'm going to put him in a better state. I'm going to show him how he can exit from the problem he's in with cash and move on with his life without the burden of a foreclosure on his record. Then I'm going to turn my head to the left and tell, hey, Mr. Banker, you're not going to have to chase this guy through a lawsuit for the next year. You're not going to have to worry about him filing bankruptcy. You're not going to have to worry about him doing a countersuit. You're not going to have to worry about the COVID reparations. You're not going to have to worry about anything. All I need you to do is back off that loan. Win-win. It's done all the time. So I would begin doing as much data as you possibly can. Just bringing up as much information as you possibly can and understanding that now you do have a crystal ball. I told everybody this for at least a month now. It was coming, that we were going to see massive amounts of foreclosures. People haven't even seen it. Remember, just keep remembering this. This was filed on February 28th. It is now August 7th. For 6 months, this property has been sitting in abeyance. It's just sitting there. No one's paying on it. Bank's screwed. Homeowner screwed. Probably the city's not getting their tax payment. Eventually the bank's going to have to step in and pay those taxes. This is a nightmare scenario of epic proportions because you're going to be able to multiply this by hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of properties. This is one property located in Lauderdale Lakes. One. I guarantee you, before we're out of this corona thing, there's going to be thousands of properties foreclosed on. I'm not sure if you understand what a forbearance agreement is, but basically it says, hey, listen, we're going to try and work with you to get you past, so you can actually pay this. We understand COVID's been horrible. How many people are going to be able to afford that? They may make the agreement, they may try something for 2 or 3 months, and then they're back in a hole. Here's why. During most foreclosures, somebody could go ahead and, get a new job and get back on their feet. They could, Uncle Sam comes in, not Uncle Sam, Uncle Charlie comes in and gives you some money and you're back on your feet. All of these people whose businesses have been closed, all these people who were working at every kind of job and got furloughed, there is no more money coming. A $1,200 stimulus check is not going to take care of this. So get right. Understand, people, what we're about to see. And I'm telling you right now, people are going to make millions in the next 12 to 18 months. Millions with an S, plural. You could be one of them. All you got to do is roll up the sleeves and get to work.
Your source for profit. Hear what you need to know to succeed in today's real estate market.
Hey, thanks for checking out this clip of the Barry Cunningham Show. Every weekday, Monday through Friday, I talk about real estate and the trends and news that affect real estate and making money in real estate. So if you want to see us live, just go ahead and click the subscribe button below, or just click the link below, which is going to be a link to the archives of all of our live shows. And then we'll go ahead and cut these up and get them out there so you can see the clips of the various shows. But in any event, I'm glad you're watching. Please continue to watch and have a great day. Get out there and make some money. And we'll see you on the next episode.